first off, Luke, it's been a free week this week with Kings Lynn to play on Monday. How's training been? What's the mood like in camp?
Yeah, listen, it's low. We all know the reasons why. We haven't really performed to the level that we've expected, and we've picked up a couple of losses on the way. And it's my job as the manager to motivate and get people back on board. And I have to say, the back end of this week has been very productive. The boys are ready for Kings Lynn. And we've set them a task with 6 games to go to finish off the season as strong as possible.
Any new injury concerns? Everyone fit?
Everyone fit, mate, yeah. So thankfully, we've got everyone available, which is brilliant at this stage of the season. The fact that we've had a free week to ensure that we weren't going Saturday, Tuesday, all the way throughout. We've had a nice period to recuperate, get some rest into the legs, and then, like I said, to go again. And they've trained excellently today, excellently yesterday, and they'll have a big weekend where hopefully we can go and put 3 points on the board against Kings Lynn on Monday.
After the Stockport game, working the goalkeeper was something that you said you wanted to improve on. Have you been doing that during the week? And just how important is it in the National League to capitalise on chances?
Yeah, I've watched the game back, and I do it every time. I analyse in terms of our play and the way we go about our business. And I have to say that in that first 20, 25 minutes, we were very good against Stockport, and we got into some real key areas where I think our ruthlessness and our clinicality was not good enough. And goals change games. You look at the way in which Simon Rusk on the side of the pitch is getting very irate because as a team that I've watched in the last 5-6 games, they haven't been dominated. And I felt for the first 20, 25 minutes, we were very productive. We got on the front foot. We nullified their sort of game plan. And yeah, we had a couple of opportunities, and they go and score from a restart from Ash Palmer back post. So yeah, clinicality has been a question mark of ours this season. We are now harp on and talk about stats. We have the second best possession stat in the division. We have the second best expected goals. And I know that teams are doing that, and people on a Monday night being Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville talk about expected goals. And I always look and go, well, unless they finish them, it's an irrelevant stat. But it shows that we are getting in key areas. We are creating good opportunities. And at the minute, we're not putting them to the sword. So, yeah, we have worked on it in training. We have gone about our business as we have done. There was an energy and tempo to them. We give them a couple of days off at the start of the week to ensure that they come in the building, bounding through the door, because we need to ensure that this damage limitation is going towards the end of the season. And like I said from the offset, I'm the manager. I need to ensure that the mood in the camp's positive, and I'm a positive guy. My glass is always half full. Yes, is there areas of this season that I'm frustrated with? 100%. But I look at what we've achieved as a club in the National League and what we want to achieve. Yeah, it's fine lines, and we need to ensure that we're on the other side of it as opposed to like that we were on Saturday.
Well, on to Kings Lynn, they're battling relegation. Are you expecting a strong reaction? I mean, it sounds like you've had a good week in training following that Stockport defeat. I mean, the chairman's described the spell at the moment as a difficult one. So could this be the real turning point in terms of building that momentum back, like you say, for the 6 games we have left?
Yeah, listen, it's about finishing the season strong. Like I said in an interview, we've got about 80% of that squad and staff going with us next year. And I don't want to be in a position where we finish off this year on a lull and then we resent coming in pre-season. We need to have a positive finish. There's enough of 4 to 6 weeks, I believe, of an off-season where they need their rest. It's felt like the longest season I've ever been involved in. We come back in June the 18th or 20th to be ready for the Halifax game. We then don't finish that until the last week in July. We then have to set ourselves back up 3-4 weeks later for a new season. And we've got people in there that effectively have played 10 to 11 months of football. It's unheard of. And then when you cram a season in to a condensed season as such, Saturday, Tuesdays, it's a tough ask. And we've looked at all the little things and all the bits that we can probably improve on, which is loads, and that's just as a management team. But you said a point there, Kings Lynn battling relegation. They're not battling relegation. So they're playing with a freedom. And you look at Barnet under the new manager in Simon Bass, and I know Bassey really well, they're not playing with pressure now, nor are Kings Lynn. And you look at their performances, they're playing out, they're playing through the thirds. There's a mindset that go and enjoy it. And I think that brings freedom. Whereas if you put a bit more store on a 3 points to ensure you're sort of stability and keeping your status in the National League, I think it changes people's mindsets. And Kings Lynn will come here on Monday. Yeah, they've conceded quite a few goals in their recent games. Stockport twice, 4 goals, and Dagenham 3 goals. But they're a team that got great personnel, got a good manager, understands the level. They got a tough ask on Saturday against Maidenhead, so I'll be watching that live and seeing where they go and exploit them and where Kings Lynn get their joy. But yeah, there's no pressure on teams now because their status in the National League is set, which I think plays dividends. Look at the teams at the top of the table in Torquay, Hartlepool, Chesterfield, Wrexham's, Notts counties. They haven't had fans. And that brings an added pressure. So it's a very foreign year this year. One that I've appreciated why, because I've been in work and been looked after 100% by the club. But yeah, there's a lot of factors where you can draw upon and say, is that a reason? Is that another reason? And it's one that I think you can't overanalyze. You've just got to let it run and ensure that you finish off strong and start the new year on a positive.
I mean, going off that danger of having freedom when playing football, then what kind of a game do you expect to see on Monday?
Yeah, they're a free-flowing side. They've chopped and changed their personnel and their shape in recent weeks. They are well drilled, look to play out, look to move the ball. Teams have gone and suffocated them. Teams have sat off them, and teams have got joy from doing either. So we've got to just box clever between the two. When they get a bit of joy and they get their first pass off, we've got to ensure that we don't go running out and get picked off. And if we do get a full press, can we be positive and penetrate through their lines, and all the things that we speak to the group about and how we feel that we need to go about our business. But fundamentally, it's our 11 lads that we've set up. It's our 11 lads mentality. It's our 11 lads game plan. We need to ensure that we're right on it. We get on the front foot and we have a bit of ruthlessness, because I do believe we've had and created chances in recent weeks. Yeah, we need a bit of clinicality for sure.
I mean, with that ruthlessness and also the fresh legs, because Kings Lynn play Maidenhead tomorrow. So will that be an advantage as well? It's a quick turnaround for them to get to Boreham Wood for that afternoon kickoff.
100%. Listen, there's all the factors that could play against you or go for you. For me, it's irrelevant. You could say that we haven't played in the 9 days from once playing Stockport and they've had 2 games. Does that keep their eye in? Listen, I'm one to say it's irrelevant what goes on prior. It's what happens between the 90. We're going to be fresh, yes, 100%. We need to be right on it because they are a good outfit. They are a good side. They've got good personnel. We need to ensure that we're right on it and we go about our business. And that's something that we've harped on this week, and we'll ensure that we start the game strong. And like I said, I keep saying it and harping on, but having a bit of clinicality.
And momentum as well, along with clinicality is a word you've spoken quite a lot about. So
it's a hard word to say.
With this momentum,
no.
What's that?
It's a hard word to say because you had a little bit of
it certainly is. It is. It's a bit of a tongue twister. But with that momentum now, what's your message to the players at the moment, and what's your message going into this game? Because, like I said, this could be the start of a really positive 6 games.
100%, and that's what we've said, and that's exactly what we've said about these last 6 games moving forward. It's not the last 6 games to finish off strong for this year. For me, we're going to finish 18th to 12th. Why? Because we've left ourselves too much to do, and we'll look back and say, what if? But in fairness, you look at Sutton the previous year, they finished off really strong under Matt Gray in the curtailment of the season, got on a real good run, and it gave them momentum going into the new year. And they've not looked back. And that's something that we want to do. That's something that we've spoken to the group about. And that's a massive factor. Why? Because I'm here, the management team's here. And like I said, 80% of that squad's here. We need to add 4 or 5 bits of quality. And that's being done now. I'm afforded the luxury to do that. Why? Because there's no pressure of getting my relegation. And I don't feel that we're going to be in a promotion push. So it is saying that we're not going to sit and rest on our laurels. I've been tasked by the chairman and Charlie, the CEO, to go and get 10 bits of quality on the table to ensure that we get 4 or 5 in the building come the start of the season. The pre-season's been organised now. We know where we're at with regards to return dates. We know who we've got coming in the building in terms of opposition. And like I said, we're doing our work. We've asked the boys to do their work. We need to ensure that there is momentum leaving this season and going into next year, because yeah, we feel that I personally feel we failed. I think we've got a squad there that should have been in and around the playoffs, and that's something that we haven't delivered on. I take full blame, 100%. It's my ship. I'm the captain, and I need to ensure that what I put out there and how I change things and add things it's down to me. So I want to, and I'm driven as a youngster and a manager to go and better ourselves from this year to next year, and we will not leave any stone unturned.
Has this been the most extraordinary season in your career in terms of the challenges you've had to face?
I haven't had to face a challenge. You know why? Because I know managers in the curtailment of last year would have had to ring players and say that they're not getting paid and you're only getting your furlough money. So I was afforded the luxury in late March that every payday, the players and staff got their money, full money, 100%. So on that, I think that's a real big challenge that potentially I could control being the manager of the football club, but fundamentally the chairman's controlled that. So I think that's an amazing thing that the club's done, because I think that is a challenge, telling the player that they're not getting their money. In terms of COVID protocols, we haven't had a case. That shows our health and safety, what we're like as a professional club, the things that have been put in place at this football club. That has had a kick-on effect in terms of not having dressing rooms, not being in analyst suites together, not having breakfast and lunches together. And that's saying that we really, really believe in, that the camaraderie in them times are built, team spirits built, team ethics built. And that's something that we're looking forward to, hopefully, start of the new year to bring back, because I could tell you stories of what they used to do and how they used to sit in here till 3-4 o'clock eating their lunches as a group of 6 to 8, talking and talking. And I know that brings us closer together. Playing the likes of a Dover, having Macclesfield Saturday fundamentally that are not in the league, does it hinder you? Possibly. Playing a Saturday, Tuesday every week, bar probably 4 weeks across the season, does that hinder you? Possibly. But it's no different to any other National League club. I'm not saying that's just solely down to us. That's everyone in the National League. So it's been extraordinary in terms of the way that teams are afforded the luxury to not play. I won't go on and say who. We all know the rules. Why they've been afforded the luxury to be in the National League next year isn't my decision, but it's something that you look at and go, could we have put all the players on furlough, be sitting on a pretty penny, and put that all towards next year's budget? That's not how we want to do it. That's not what the club's built out of. That's not how the chairman's built. He will finish it off as a professional, like we have done and like we will. But yeah, I'd say I'm appreciative of the season, because I know people have lost their jobs. I've been given a luxury to come to work every day to work with good people on and off the field. And as much as it's been tough on the field at times, yeah, horrible. I'm looking forward to hopefully having crowds back. And if that is against Maidenhead on the last game of the season, I hope I'm welcome in open arms as opposed to being chanted Garrard out.
I'm sure you will be welcomed in open arms. Just finally, is it okay to touch on the social media boycott in sport this week? Because the hope is that social media companies will do more to eradicate online hate. It's a step in the right direction, isn't it?
100%. I've got to be honest. There's talk of, I'm going all political now, and I'm not even that bright, but there's talk of COVID passports. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why not have a passport for Twitter or Instagram or Facebook? So you have to log all your personal details into them said platforms, so then you're accountable. And I've got to be honest, I don't like talking about this, because no matter what, whatever I say, good or bad, there's going to be an opinion. But it's horrible. Bullying's horrible. Abuse is horrible. And if we can do something as a National League, as a club, as individuals, to ensure that doesn't happen, then brilliant. I'm all for it. But I think there's more can be done, personally. If we are in a position, like I said, doing COVID passports to get out of the country, then let's do passports for platforms, because some of the abuse I see And I don't know if any of our players have ever been abused, but no one's brought it to my attention. There'll be 100% support from myself and the football club if that was the case, and we'd look to out anyone that was doing it. But yeah, I'm fully in support of, as is the club, as is all the staff, 100%.